right, guys, welcome to another episode of the Rake. It's been a really weird couple of months with coronavirus, and then this week has probably been just the most upsetting week of my life since I've been alive. And the news is really crazy, and I'm not even sure we're supposed to be creating content, if we should be ignoring poker and focusing on other things. But Marley and I talked about it, and for some people, they like dealing with the world burning down by having routine and focusing on positive stuff and just trying to avoid watching the news 24/7. So we just decided to do this interview anyway. And hopefully you guys understand. Hopefully no one gets enraged that we're focusing on poker when there's like way bigger stuff going on.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we want to address it. I want to address it briefly, just acknowledge it. I don't have anything more to add to the conversation. But, there are new developments in poker and there are new things going on with poker. So, it does get sickening to just watch the news all day, every day. And so if you are looking for a break and to get some updates on poker, we are really excited to talk to our guest today. He is a Florida native, been playing live poker again the last week, and has some firsthand knowledge of what's been going on down there, and a really, really, really nice guy. So yeah, just obviously things are tense right now, but we want to do what we can to, maybe be a welcome distraction.
Yeah, and Kyle's definitely the best welcome distraction. The times that I have talked to him, he has been like the happiest person in the world. Loves poker, is like the wide-eyed, like, the world is good. So if you want a distraction and you want to feel happy for half an hour, this is the pod for you.
All right, guys, without further ado, here's our interview with Kyle.
Surprise! Before we dive into that interview, I'm just going to sneak in here early with this week's plugs for our sponsors at Run It Once. But I'll be quick, I promise. At Run It Once Poker, we're kicking off June by adding extra value to our already awesome Legends Rewards program. From now until June 7th, players will receive an extra cash reward ranging from €5 to €1,000 by completing 3 levels of any given legend rank. For full details, head over to once.run/boost. And as always, if you want to improve your game, you owe it to yourself to take a gander at Run It Once Training, where you'll find a huge library of excellent content from a growing stable of world-class pros, including Run It Once founder, Phil Gelfond. Sign up today through once.run/learn, and you'll receive free access to 3 of their elite level videos. And that's it. See? So quick. Now back to the pod.
All right, guys, I want to introduce our guest for the week. His name is Kyle Fischl, and he is a poker player in Florida. The reason we wanted to have him on today, besides the point that he makes blogs and produces a bunch of poker content himself, he is one of the first people playing poker in a live setting during the coronavirus. So without further ado, welcome, Kyle.
Well, hello, everyone. I'm very happy to be on your podcast. I've been watching it for a while. And yeah, I did think it was kind of interesting that we're finally getting back to live poker. And there's some things that I think people would want to know about before getting into it, because some people may be kind of nervous about, the safety precautions certain rooms are going through. So I thought it'd be a good time to help get the information out there to help ease some worries, I guess.
And what has it been like? What kind of players are showing up? Is it more recreational players? Is it only young people who don't really have as much to worry about with Corona? Or what has your experience been like with the players?
Honestly, I expected it to be only like young people who really were going to go there just because they normally are good winning players, but it was a very wild mix. Like, there were a lot of fun recreational people that were just ready to get back to playing. They missed the game. They enjoy playing. And you could tell that they were just willing to throw some money around. They had a great time. And it was a really fun, return to playing. And it was a really good experience because people were talking and happy to be back and weren't really worried about, getting ill from the game. They were just ready to go.
And you guys are you guys 4-handed or 6 down there?
We started, the room I go to is called Orange City. It's in Orlando. They started 6-handed. Some other rooms around Florida actually started 8-handed.
Wow.
And yeah, after 1 week, the room I go to went to 7-handed, and they were talking about entering phase 2, which would be full 9-handed with no mask requirement, like next week. I don't know how that's going to progress now, given what just happened, but Florida was getting ready for phase 2, and we were really opening up, and it was exciting because people were happy to get back to it. Like, I got so many comments. I made a video about exactly what the room looks like, all the precaution stuff. And I got so many messages from people out of state saying, how is it? Like, I will go to Florida just to be able to play live again, because people are just willing to go through all these, precautions. They're willing to adhere to whatever they need to just to be able to get back to it. And, it's interesting to see how many people wanted to just get back to playing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what kind of precautions have most people been taking? Are people wearing masks? Are they wearing gloves? Are they sanitizing their hands? Or, is everyone just on their own little, I could see everyone just being like, this is how I'm gonna handle it, and I'll sit here with my mask. And I could see some guy just being like, I don't care, I'm not afraid of no virus.
No, the room that I play at is very strict with the mask has to be on at all times. Like, you can't take it off for any reason. And anytime you leave the table and come back in, you are required to get a new, fresh dosing of hand sanitizer. And, everyone has to watch as you have to pause the game and the dealer has to hand it to you and get you ready to go. I haven't seen anyone wear masks or wear gloves yet. So I know that's something people have asked me as well, but I haven't seen it. One thing that's really kind of strange is that I've seen players that came from the rooms with the glass barricades on each person, and the glass is so new that it has sharp edges, and when you flick your cards in or flick your chips in, you actually get little cuts or bruises on your hands.
My God.
Yeah, you're not used to it, and they're so new and so freshly cut that, it's something to think about.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of hilarious because you're like, all right, I have my mouth covered, and I'm not like touching my face with my hands, but I'm putting an open wound directly on these chips.
Yeah,
that can't be good. Yeah.
Yeah. So how often have you been playing? You also work, correct?
Yes, I have a full-time job as.
Yeah.
I believe the best poker games are on the weekends. There's not too many Monday 10 a.m. games that I'm super happy to go to. But yeah, the game I checked pretty much all the time. They're running 10 games all the time, like 2 to 3 5 or 2-5 games. And they're 7-handed at the room I go to. I've had people that have gone every day since we opened just because they're so ready to get back to it. And I have a group of people that text me, say they want to, play more and get back to it. But the games are really good. I thought that when we came back, everyone would be super tight, super unwilling, super scared, face covered, head over, but people were just ready to play and get back to it. And it's been really good actually in Florida.
Yeah, maybe it's that kind of thing where they're like, look, I'm risking my life to play. I'm not risking my life to fold.
Yeah. Didn't come here to knit it up.
Yeah.
I didn't risk my life, literally.
Yeah.
I actually met Kyle. I went down to Florida. My last real poker trip before everything got shut down was to Daytona Beach. So I went to play at the OC. I went to play at Daytona Beach. It used to be Kennel Racing Club, and I think they took the Greyhounds out as I was there. But that is a different group of people. Like, it was like some of the friendliest games and really great cash games and just really interesting people. It's a more social environment than I'm used to in Vegas when playing cards. So I could see people wanting to go back. Like, a lot of the people there all knew each other, all knew all the dealers. It seems like it's such a social environment that like people want to just go back and like see their friends again.
That's actually something that I kind of learned myself. Like, when I was younger, my whole goal was to get out to Vegas and grind it, be a player. And then I got there and the games were so serious, and so everyone's trying to win and everyone's so focused. And I'm like, this is really not as fun as some of the other games that I've played in other places. And, it was what it was. And then when you're in Florida, you go there to talk to people. You talk about the new stuff that's going on, how they're doing. These people, like I don't know, it's more regulars, and the regulars are really friendly and really willing to talk to people. And,
It's the floor people and the dealer. Oh, sorry, Marley.
Sorry. No, you go ahead. I'm gonna. Yeah.
I was just gonna end, but just wrap up my thought about the people by saying that I went down there for there's a charity event, and there was a big tournament they wanted me to promote, and I was like, sweet, I'll go. And then while I was there, I was like, the floor people and dealers know every single person. They were like, I go to the OC, which was like the sister card room of Daytona, and they were like, hey, here's our local celebrity Kyle. He does all his vlogs and like puts us on the map. And they're like, oh, that's Lexi Sterner. She beats up the 5-10 game. They're like pointing out every player in the room. And I thought that was so awesome. And I'm like, I missed that about having, like, Borgata was like that for me. And then in Vegas, I don't feel like I have that. I'm not like, oh, yeah, this is my home base. Like, I come here and I know everyone and they know me. Like, a little sad.
Yeah, it was quite interesting. When I first started doing my vlog, and one day the floor manager came up to me and said, Kyle, do you realize like 20 people have asked me if you were here, like, before I saw you? And I'm like, no, who are they? He's like, oh, I've never seen them before, but they came here because they saw your videos and were like, is this guy here? And it was interesting that the floor came to me and tried to introduce me and walked around to people. That's how I got introduced to you. They're like, hey, Jamie Kerstetter is here. I'm like, what? Like, no, literally, I was starstruck. I've never,
That's ridiculous, but they said there were greyhounds there, and I'm like, I'll be there.
Yeah. I want to ask, are you originally from Florida, or did you just like stumble, like hear about it being really soft and you were like, yes?
Well, I was born in Chicago. Hear the A there. But when I was younger, my caregivers decided that we were going to relocate to Florida, and that's where I grew up from about 12 years old. And when I graduated from college, I just thought that Orlando would have the best job opportunities. Thought it was possible I'd get a job at Disney or something of that nature. And I moved here and, got a real job and played poker on the side. And poker was a lot of fun here because, especially in Orlando, it's very attraction-y. Like, people come here for, unlike Vegas, more than just gambling. They come here for all kinds of vacation activities, but then they're like, oh, I can also go gamble as well. And it's kind of a very diverse activity base of things to do.
Well, it's great because obviously I think what's going to really hurt Vegas in the future is the fact that so much of its, traffic is based around tourists, right? And obviously that sounds like the case somewhat in Florida, but you're such a strong locals. Like, we don't have that strong base in Vegas, I feel like, where people are just so dedicated to locals maybe, but it's so great that you guys do. And I don't know, I think maybe we could see a new mini Vegas propping up in Florida.
I mean, I could see it happening just because with the current events that are going on, like the NBA have been talking with the Wide World Sports of Disney about doing the whole season there. Like, Governor DeSantis is talking about bringing all these conventions to Florida because he's open and everyone else shut down. So when only this area has the capability and ability to throw on events, it's possible that they could. I don't see like the World Series or any like series like that coming here, but I could see maybe a poker tournament group saying, okay, Florida's open. The people are willing to play there. They have their rules already in there. Let's just plan our series around there, so we don't have to have a whole year where everything's online. We can at least develop something.
Yeah. Do you see what's your plan if people do end up getting sick from playing live poker? Because it seems like it's on a delay, right? So like if people are starting to get sick, we'll know like in a week or so probably. Won't know like immediately. It's not like you go home and you're like, oh crap, I touched those cards and now I'm sick. Do they have plans for that? And do you have plans for that? If that were to happen, would you just like retreat back to what you've been doing and your job and stuff? Or are you just taking the, I'm young, it's very unlikely to actually like hurt me very badly and just keep playing?
Well, I do think that poker players in general just kind of have an innate sense of adhering to risk, and they're willing to risk going out to do what they want to do. With that being said, I think that they have an ID check at the rooms so that they could actually contact trace if something broke out. And I think that if a sickness did break out and they were able to trace it, as we've been hearing about on the news, they would shut it down immediately, go back to lockdown, and do that. But as you have a temperature check going in, as you are wearing a mask, as you have hand sanitizer, as you're distanced all the way through the room until you actually sit down, as well as I think that people have a personal responsibility if they are sick, if they think they're sick, even if they're not feeling it, if they've been in like a risky situation and they've never had it and they've never been tested, they should probably just make a personal choice not to come. However, with that being said, I could see a large tournament being run on where maybe a little bit of the rake has to go to everyone getting a test and getting cleared before they all go into a room. I could see that being a legitimate possibility going forward for at least a short period of time. But I'm nearly certain that I already had it. My girlfriend she works at Universal Studios, and she actually, talks to a lot of international people. She's in guest services, so she talks all the time with people. And in early January, I was so sick. I was at work. I'm texting her. I'm like, find me a hospital. I'm going there now. And when I got there, and I quote you, the doctor said, I don't really know what this is. I've never seen anything like this before. But they gave me a Z-Pap, and a few days later, I was better. But all the symptoms, dry cough, all that stuff, I felt terrible. But so I'm nearly certain that I had it. And so I'm not really worried about my health for both the youngness and the fact that I'm pretty sure that I have it and would test positive for immunity at this point.
That's something you never want to hear from a doctor ever in your life. I have no idea what this is. I've never seen this before. I'm like, I've seen enough episodes of House to know that I do not want to hear that from a doctor.
Yeah.
It did shock me, and that's why I remembered it so vividly. Yeah, I don't really know what this is. I'm sitting there like,
wow.
Thanks, Doc. I feel so much better now.
Wow.
Oh man.
So
do you want to pivot to talking about happier things, since everything is so depressing? Like, you and Marley have this in common, that you've made a bunch of vlogs, and I don't know, I'm interested to know what got you into it. Who were your inspirations for doing that, and just everything about it that you want to talk about?
All right. Well, I got into it for, I guess, selfish reasons, because Andrew Nemi was giving out a $25K ticket to the PCA thing if you made 5 vlogs. I was like, sounds good. I can make 5 videos. I can totally do that. And it was a lot more work than I thought it would be. But at the end of it, I realized that it was actually fun to learn how to video edit and build stuff and talk to people and conversate. And people said that they thought it was funny and entertaining and kind of unique, and I should keep it going. And then when I kept it going, the conversations of poker kept going. And I learned so much just from learning popular opinion based on spots, because a hand I'd be like, I really don't know what I'm supposed to do here. So I called and I was wrong. What would you have done? And I read it all and I get better. And then other people read it all and they say, I've never thought of playing like this or doing this decision. I think I'll incorporate it in the future. So just the ability to I guess have an open forum about your literal personal experiences is good for a vlog. It's how I got better. I already said that. But I liked Marley's recent vlog, because eventually you get to a point where you can really just get creative with it and start talking about your mind on poker, doing something relatable, like building skits. I think when you start getting into that level of vlogging, it gets much more fun. So, I don't really know how it's going to progress. I wanted to get some information out there to hopefully make people feel a little bit better about poker going forward with my newest one. And a lot of people were like, wow, I was really wondering how poker is going to be when it opens up again. I'm so happy someone made this. And, I show the room and all the precautions. I hope it both gives a floor, plans and ideas about how they're going to start their opening process, as well as gives people feel a little bit safer about when they can, start playing again.
Yeah, I'm curious, had you considered making like a vlog before Andrew Nemi came out with his contest? And if so, like what were your kind of internal hesitations to do so? Because I had plenty myself, but I'm just interested.
I honestly did think about it for a bit, just because I figured that I could like figure it out. I'm like, I can make videos, like I can talk about stuff. I'm not really sure that I was ever gonna like fully do it until like I had that push. I was like, wow, now I have a reason.
Yeah.
But like, because like I said, I have a job and I play poker, I think that I always had the kind of need to have multiple streams of income. Like I was always going to have the next grind, the next project, the next thing. So, now you have a job, you have poker, you have YouTube. If I didn't have YouTube, I'd probably be doing something else, like poker promoting or doing like commenting. I would find a way to get into it more some other way if I didn't have a literal just video editing like thing to do, because that's just
another person you just reminded me of is Ben Dietz, who has his vlog that he runs out of Reno. He plays at the Peppermill. And one of the things that people comment a lot on his vlog is that he's very accessible because he has a real job. He's a reporter, and that it does draw people into the game because they can see themselves in this person who has a real grind, a real job. Sometimes people have a family and they balance poker, and like having a vlog coming from that point of view is really cool. And I think you probably touch a lot of people who dream of playing a lot more poker than they really have time to do, and they get to live through you, and then maybe on the weekend hop in and play a game because you're inspiring them to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I try to say that it's easy. You can balance it. It's not, you don't have to only play if you spend 20 hours a week in the lab studying. Like you can just play and gain experience, learn that way, and be successful. As that's kind of how I did it. I didn't do any formal solving training work, but I've been relatively profitable at 2-5, but maybe Orlando and Florida is just easier games. I don't know.
That's half the battle. Picking the right games, picking the right place to play. That is a very underrated aspect of being a poker player. So you don't have to downplay having good results. It's like you're figuring it out. You've got, if all you've done is pick an easier location to play, it's a very important part of the game.
Yeah.
Have you ever had the itch to kind of go full time, or have you always realized that it's better to have income?
Many times across a lifetime, many times, but there have been times where I've spent 20, 22 hours across the weekend, like just there both days for like 10 hours. And then at the end of it, just, I need to do something else tomorrow. Like I need a break. I need a balance. I can't just, sit at the table all day, 40, 50 hours. Turning it into a job is something that I think would make it much less fun. And I can really enjoy the game because it's something to look forward to. Like, okay, it's Wednesday, it's Tuesday. In 3 more days, I can go play poker again once work is done. Like, it makes the game more fun and more exciting. It's not, oh, I lost 500 today and I lost 600 yesterday. I hope I can get it back tomorrow, or else I'm really going to be in a bad spot.
Yeah. How do you go about like bankroll management? Do you have a separate poker role, or do you just kind of keep it whatever?
That is one of the greatest parts about having a real job is that all my poker money is just luxury purchases, fun things that I really don't need. And right before the world shut down, I was really trying to grow my role, and I wanted to gather some bullets for the World Series and really just see what happened. And if I bricked them all, okay, I tried. I was building the role to try to do a shot at 5-10 or higher. Probably not higher, but who knows. But I was really getting ready to try to take some shots, but then everything happened. But yeah, to the original point, when you have multiple sources of income, like when you win, the highs are so much like greater. And if you lose, it's just like, okay, well, I have a paycheck on Friday, it's fine. Like it's a net zero. I'm good.
I agree with that. I think one of the things that made poker less fun when I started playing it full time is that there was never like, oh, sick, I played 510 all weekend and I'm up 4K, I'm gonna buy something. I'm like, or I'm gonna go on a trip or whatever. Once you start playing professionally, you're like, all right, add it to the pile and that's my bankroll. And that was a very underrated part of playing poker for fun, was that you did feel like windfalls were for you, for entertainment, for whatever, instead of just, all right, be a responsible professional, add it to your bankroll so that one day you can move up and make a higher hourly. And I kind of miss that feeling. Like if you hit like a high hand or something and you get handed $500, you're like, sweet, maybe I'll take my friend out to dinner or something. And I don't feel like poker pros feel like that anymore. Money is like a tool instead of however you sound like you're feeling about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my expectations go up every pot I win. Like when I first started, like 1-2, I was like, I want to buy a Wii. Then it was like, I want to go on a cruise. Then it was like, I think I'll buy a car. Like, just things just kept adding up, and your expectations go with it. When the money, as I like to describe it, is miracle money. It came from out of nowhere. You weren't expecting it, and you weren't like anticipating it. Then you can actually use it for fun, and that's why I currently choose to play while having a job.
Yeah, Marley, do you agree with me? When I met him in Florida, we had this talk and I was like, this person has the best attitude toward poker ever. There are people who are sponsored who are like these salty, depressing people. And I was trying to talk to the guys at OC and I'm like, yo, you gotta throw that kid a patch. I'm like, do something, because he's like promoting the game from your casino to 5,000 people usually at a time. Like your vlogs get pretty decent views, especially the last one, I think had like 15K views.
Yeah, the last one, got, I guess, recommended a bunch of times. It's the only one that's live out there so far, or it was. Now there's like 2 more.
Yeah, I think those are good. The ones that aren't just strategy, I've watched a bunch of yours. Strategy's all good. I mean, everyone loves that when me and Brad Owen do strategy stuff. But ones that also have like a greater topic about them, like this one was just like, hey, look what live poker looks like now, so that even the people who don't care about hand histories, they're gonna check it out just to see how poker's working right now. But I don't know. I'm still promoting that. I was like talking to the floor people the last time I was there, and just like, dude, patch this kid. At least give him a free meal when he shows up, because you just talk about their room so nicely too, and you're just so happy to be playing poker all the time, and none of it is fake. And I feel like that has some value. I don't know.
Well, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
It was funny one time. I came in and the floor boss first said, "Kyle, that was such a funny video. Thanks for promoting us. I still can't give you a free shrimp bowl though." Dang it. The whole reason I did that vlog.
Yeah. I was going to say, I think, I mean, I don't know, but it sounds like one of the reasons why you're able to just be so kind of, happy about your current state with poker is that you obviously love what you do for regular work as well. I feel like a lot of people, the reason why they kind of have a lot of people I feel like hate their day jobs or hate their regular jobs so much that they're itching to become pro, and that's kind of part of it. But I feel like when you kind of like enjoy I have a friend at Novocaine Poker, shout out to Novocaine Alex. She's a dentist and she loves what she does, and she is a very avid poker player, but she, as kind of like you, like she's just so fucking stoked about it every time she plays, and she's such a good like energy, and that's just, you know what I mean, because like, you like what you do. It's not like
it comes through in your vlogs too. I think that's a really that's an important part about it, and enjoying vlogging. Like I don't vlog because I would not enjoy it, and I don't like the feeling of having to pretend everything's great when you've had a bad day. Like the people who make them regularly, one day they get their ass kicked and they lose 4 buy-ins. They have to be like, so pocket tens, guys, I had pocket tens, let's talk about it. And that they're really like wanting to be anywhere else. I feel like you are a very happy poker player, that it comes across in your vlogs that you're happy to be talking about the hands you played and everything. And I think that is a underrated thing in vlogging and commentary and creation, is just actually having a genuine interest in the stuff that you're talking about.
I mean, I think that a positive attitude goes a lot into it. Like, because I've had those just beat down weekends, just oh my God, thank God I can go to work tomorrow. But at the end of the day, when I talk about it on my blog, I'm usually like, that was pretty unlucky. I think I can get it back. I think it's fine. It's fine. Yeah. Like we'll get through this. This is fine.
Yeah.
So
amazing.
So yeah, it's just kind of the attitude you have towards it. I kind of get motivated when really bad runouts happen and really tough sessions happen, because it makes me, I have to go through it all in the vlog and think about what happened. Was it my decisions? Was it my luck? Was it this? And I can think about it for a whole week until the next session and be like, okay, I was unlucky, or okay, I made some bad choices. Let's not do that next time. And hopefully things will turn around. So that's just another thing. I think having a job, you actually have time to process and reflect and, get motivated to get back. Like, I'll get it back next weekend. Like, I'm totally ready.
Instead of what I do, which is just to be in a shame spiral for 5 days. And I'm like, all right, I got bad beat once and then made terrible decisions for 4 days straight after that. That's not what I should do.
Yeah. Well, just to wrap up, tell everyone where they can find you and what you got coming up.
Okay, my channel is just Kyle Fischl. So, if you search poker vlog and see a goofy looking guy like this, you'll be able to find it. It's named, because I always thought that the real poker vloggers just use their name. So that's what I did. And so, I play at Orange City, Orlando, Florida. If you're ever in the area, come check it out. Easy to find me on Instagram. A lot of pictures of just chips and not really me, but that's kind of where I am. Fischl.
I had one more question. I almost forgot.
Right.
How do people at work view your poker playing? Because when I was a lawyer, it was something I tried to hide for a while, because some people think it's like degenerate or something. But do people at work know that you have your vlog, and do they support you, or do you try to kind of keep it to yourself?
Okay, well, I work at UPS, so the brown guys that deliver boxes. When I was still in the factories making $12 an hour to literally move boxes, people always asked me how I did on the weekend because they just knew I was that guy that played poker. They're like, I made like $637. They're like, you get like a $200 paycheck at the end of the week. Why are you still here? And, I always wanted that balance. And then additionally, I was, still in school. So when I finished my master's degree, I was moved to be a financial analyst. So doing that, I get to basically, I take poker with long-term, like just financial analysis. I just think about the money, and if I ran this like 20 times and, was I running bad, or was it a good long-term decision? And when I'm just doing a single bet, thinking about like implied odds, I think about like, what is the likelihood that this is going to be a financially good decision? Now, finance office, that they don't really know too much about the poker yet, and I'm not really the guy that comes in and says, "Hey guys, guess what I did this weekend?"
Yeah.
I just kind of keep that on the down low, but they do know that I play because I have a stupid license plate that says my poker wins paid for this car.
Oh my God.
That's amazing. I love vanity plates. That's dope.
They do know that I play, but they don't know to the extent.
Okay. I was gonna say, I feel like if there's anybody who would understand and respect poker, I feel like it'd be finance guys.
Yeah, I mean, they understand because they gamble just in a different way. They go really hard in the stock markets, and we talk about that as well. And it's just I always think of poker as an investment. Like, if you're going to invest $1,500 in something, you could buy a stock that tanks. You could buy a 10K like automobile and then crash it the next day and then get insurance stiff you. Like, any investment can go south. So if you think of poker as an investment, like, you could get a massive return or you could get an unlucky run out. Anything can happen. So yeah, finance people kind of understand that. It's just kind of decision making, and even if they don't understand the game.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Oh, this has been like pleasant talking to you and taking a break from all the real world shit. And hopefully I'll see you again in Florida. That was really fun. One of my favorite poker trips I've had. It was great. So maybe when I don't feel unsafe from Corona, I will see you again.
Sounds good. I look forward to it.
Cool. Well,
Nice to
thank
meet
you very
Kyle.
much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.